One bright and sunny day, a platypus left his burrow to go for a walk and look for new friends to play with. Platypuses are strange animals, a curious mix by Mother Nature. For one thing, they have bills like birds, and yet they're not birds. Walking along the riverbank, the platypus met a duck, who quite rudely moved away from him before he could even greet him.
You're not at all a bird, believe you me. You have a bill like a duck, but you're not a duck. We could never be friends. Don't you see how different we are?
The poor platypus was so surprised that he couldn't even reply. He knew full well that he wasn't a duck. No question there. Geese have webbed feet just like me, thought the platypus, looking at his feet.
Not a chance!
A fussy goose called out, looking at the platypus and laughing with her friends.
I know what you're thinking when you look at your big, strange feet. Sure, they're webbed, but they're not at all beautiful like ours.
And the goose dove into the water headfirst to show off her webbed feet. What bad luck, mumbled the platypus, as the other geese also dove into the water and swam away. And yet I could be like them, since platypuses not only have webbed feet, but the female ones also lay eggs. Maybe they don't know that. He said out loud. Sure, we know that, said a goldfinch, sitting on her eggs in a nest high up in a tree. But you know what they say. It's not the egg that makes the bird. With that big tail you have there, take my word for it, you will never ever resemble a bird. Instead, you look like a beaver. And without another word, she flew away. The platypus continued his walk, feeling more and more sad. But there was little to say, since the goldfinch was right. He really did have a tail like a beaver.
Hey, let's not kid around,
said a beaver, who was busy gnawing away at a tree trunk she planned to use for building a dam.
Being a beaver is serious business. Beavers work hard, as you can clearly see. And as for teeth, where do we keep our teeth? Certainly not in a bill like that, young man. That is a bird's bill, not a beaver's mouth.
The platypus was about to reply that only a minute before the others had told him just the opposite. But the beaver had already scurried away to build her dam. A hard worker, no doubt about that. How difficult it is to be a platypus. The birds are of course correct. And to be sure, so is the beaver. But what about this lovely otter-like skin? How do we categorize that?
Precisely. Just how do we categorize that?
Said an otter, who had just come out of the river and was still dripping wet.
One thing I can say for certain is that it does not suit you at all,
she said while tugging the platypus's fur, as if she wanted to take it away.
Look here, you cannot be an otter with that bill and those webbed feet. You will only make people laugh.
But I do not want to be an otter, madam, the platypus finally managed to say.
So, you want to be a beaver?
Shouted the beaver from far off, where she was setting up the tree trunk. Not at all.
And so a duck? You want to be a duck?
Honked the outraged duck. But of course not. And so, decide already, strange creature, chirped the goldfinch while she flew around overhead. But that is the point. I am not a duck, nor an otter, nor a beaver, and that is where the trouble lies. I only know what I am not. And yet, you are so very beautiful, said a voice from the woods. It was an elegant roe deer who was looking at the others with disappointment, and they all immediately turned red. Don't you see how beautiful all of these features are that the others want to convince you are strange? Ask the duck how he can flatten the earth without a big tail like yours.
Well, truth is I can't,
said the duck with embarrassment. And ask the otter how she gets fish without a lovely bill like yours.
Come to think of it, such a bill would be quite convenient,
said the otter, mortified. And ask the beaver how practical it would be to lay eggs and be able to go out and gnaw on bark, leaving them in the den.
Yes, it would be quite practical,
said the beaver, stopping her work. Instead of focusing on what you are not, dear friend, think about how wonderful you are. Wonderfully different from all the others, and yet so similar. We are the ones who should admire you, not the other way around. Let's walk together, Platypus, and you can tell us more about your kind. Platypuses are mammals, but they lay eggs. They have webbed feet, but also fur. Who knows what else you can tell us? Well, did you know that my cousin, the echidna, even has a pouch? Said the platypus, by now feeling calm and proud.
Oh,
said all of the other animals in a chorus. It was still a beautiful, bright, sunny day, now very beautiful, and a group of friendly animals was walking through the woods. They were laughing and joking, and everyone was looking at the platypus and thinking, "Oh, how I would like to be a platypus."
la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.